about to begin. Good morning. It is January 23rd, 2024, and this is the Board of County Commissioners Board meeting for this morning, Tuesday at 9:30 a.m. We are about to begin. If I could have the clerk call the roll, please.
Commissioner Barnett.
Here.
Commissioner Baxter.
Here.
Commissioner Bernard.
Here.
Vice Mayor Marino. Mayor Sachs.
Here.
Commissioner Weiss. Commissioner Woodward.
Here.
Do we have a quorum? We do. We have a quorum. We're about to begin. And if I could have Commissioner, let me see, who has the book today? I'll bet my Vice Mayor could do it off the top of her head. If I could have Vice Mayor Marino go ahead and do the invocation and the Pledge of Allegiance.
Well, since I don't have a prayer book, I'm going to wing it. So, good morning all. Bow your heads. Pray to that in which you believe in. Please be mindful of our soldiers in harm's way. Be mindful of those that don't have food that we're going to try to help. Be mindful of those that don't have housing that hopefully later on we're going to help also, especially on this agenda. And be ever mindful of those around you. Always give a hand out, give a hand up, and in God's name we pray.
Amen.
Thank you.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I thought you could do that one.
Usually a prayer.
All right, thank you, Vice Mayor. We're going to move on to number 2, agenda approvals. Do we have any additions, deletions, or substitutions, Madam Baker?
Madam Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the board, on page 14, 3A1 has been deleted for further staff review. Page 32, that item 3E9 has been deleted for further staff review. On page 86, 3GG2, we have a revised motion and title. And then on page 87, 3HH1 has been deleted for further staff review. That completes the addition, deletions, and substitution list.
And if we could have adoption of that?
So,
moved. We have a second. All those approve, anybody disapprove, see that it passes 6-0. Do we have okay, very good. Now we're going to go on to the consent agenda, which is found on pages 14 to 87. Does anybody here wish to pull anything from the consent agenda? Seeing no one, then let's have a first to approve from Commissioner Barnett, second by Commissioner Woodward. All those approve, anybody disapprove, see that it passes 6-0. Moving on now to our special presentations, which is one of our most fun things to do, and we could have Commissioner go right ahead. And let me see, who am I going to put on the other side? Would be Commissioner Woodward.
Would Dr. Seth Bernstein from United Way, Michelle Abarca from the Children's Services Council, and Timmy Fields please come forward? Oh.
good morning. How are you?
Yes. And also we have, I was just told, we have 10 nonprofits who are here, so if you're here on behalf of this proclamation, please come forward. This proclamation declaring January 2024 as Mentoring Month whereas January is National Mentoring Month, an annual campaign to raise awareness and celebrate the powerful impact of mentoring relationships, recruit new mentors, and encourage institutions to integrate quality mentoring into their policies and practices. And whereas Palm Beach County recognizes the contributions of volunteer mentors who link youth to economic and social opportunity while also strengthening our community. And whereas mentoring programs have a significant positive impact on youth academic achievement, school connectedness, and engagement and educational success, which can lead to positive outcomes such as improved attendance, grades, test scores, and classroom behavior. And whereas mentors can help young people to set career goals and connect them to industry professionals who provide training and job opportunities. And whereas effective mentoring of underserved and vulnerable populations can help young people confront challenges so they can enjoy improved mental health and well-being. And whereas evidence-based mentoring programs have been found to positively impact many aspects of mental well-being by reducing unhealthy coping mechanisms and improving interpersonal relationships with friends and family. And whereas the Board of County Commissioners supports organized mentoring initiatives and encourages participation in mentoring programs. Now therefore be it proclaimed by the Board of County Commissioners of Palm Beach County, Florida, assembled in regular session this 23rd day of January 2024, that January 2024 in Palm Beach County is hereby proclaimed Mentoring Month. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, Commissioner Bernard. Mayor, Vice Mayor, Ms. Baker, other administration, we very much appreciate the support of our community's mentoring initiatives. This is an extremely exciting time for mentoring here in Palm Beach County. While we're gathering here this morning, we have about 5 nonprofit organizations, along with Gary Graham, who leads our Mentor Center at United Way Palm Beach County, and Ike Powell from the county, that are up at the National Mentor Summit in Washington, D.C. In fact, one of the agencies, Connect to Greatness, is doing a presentation, to the group, which is a national group on best practices around mentoring. So we are pleased that they are there. Also, Healthy Mothers, Healthy Babies, Children's Home Society, Youth Empower to Prosper, and community partners are also representing Palm Beach County at that national conference. Here in the room, just to let you know which organizations are here that do mentoring day in and day out and are the lifeblood of the Mentor Center, are Excel Strategies, Digital Vibes, the AACY, the American Association of Caregiving Youth, Sickle Cell, Path to College, Scholar Career Coaching, Talented Teen Club, Community Partners, KOP Mentoring, Big Brother, Big Sister. And did I miss any? No. Okay. So mentoring could not happen without the incredible partnership between the county and Children's Services Council, United Way, and all of our nonprofit organizations. So we greatly appreciate all of your support of mentoring. And as we say in mentoring, mentoring changes 2 lives. So just an hour a week or 4 hours a month really can change the trajectory of a youth. So, you know, these programs, as Commissioner Bernard mentioned in the proclamation, they're really there to support youth's, their development. They connect with that caring adult. It helps them with their mental health. It helps them with figuring out the trials and tribulations of life and getting through that, getting through school, figuring out what they want to do after high school. Getting them set up for success in a career. So all of those things are bundled within our mentoring initiatives. We have over 55 organizations that are part of our local Mentor Center. About 5,500 youth are served within the mentoring initiative, but we have 1,050 youth that are still on the wait list. So, you know, we do a lot of recruitment activities throughout the year to find folks who have that 1 hour a week or 4 hours a month for a year that they can dedicate to helping our youth become better citizens and be very successful in life. I do want to mention one of our rather newer initiatives called the Level Up program. This one was birthed out of the Safety and Justice Committee of the Birth to 22 initiative. So lots of folks were involved in that. And what they found is that youth in the juvenile justice and dependency system often lacked having another caring adult in their life. Other than those that are taking care of them. So we created this initiative. We're serving 225 youth, and already within the first 2 years of the effort, we're seeing that recidivism is down with those youth, and they're graduating from high school more, and they're getting jobs and doing the hard work, to be successful in life. This Level Up program also was won the exemplary program at the National Association of Counties last year. So we are all proud of that. And we have to thank our supporters of the mentor effort, like I said earlier, and all of our mentor programs that are represented here and throughout the county. So with that, I probably have gone over my 3 minutes, but very much appreciate your time, Commissioner Bernard and everyone, and thank you so much for all of your support.
Okay, while they're doing their photograph, although Dr. James Green is in the photo, could I also have Taruna Malhotra, Wendy Tippett, Paula Bastidas, and Elizabeth Harfman come to the podium? Good morning. It's my pleasure for the Board of County Commission, declaring January 25th through 26th, 2024 as the 24-hour homeless point-in-time count day. Whereas Florida ranks 3rd in the nation for highest homeless population, with only California and New York ranking before us. Whereas according to the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, homelessness is defined as people who lack a fixed, regular, and adequate nighttime residence. Individuals or families who will imminently lose their primary nighttime residence, families with children or youth who are inconsistently housed, or people fleeing or attempting to flee domestic violence or life-threatening situations related to violence. And whereas each year, the Palm Beach County Homeless and Housing Alliance conducts the homeless point-in-time count to determine the amount of sheltered and unsheltered people experiencing homelessness over a 24-hour period in Palm Beach County. And whereas the Palm Beach County 2023 homeless point-in-time count identified 1,855 individuals and families experiencing homelessness. And whereas the homeless point-in-time count data helps local communities identify and plan services and programs to appropriately address local needs, measuring progress in decreasing homelessness, and identify strengths and gaps in a community's current homelessness assistance system. And whereas the Palm Beach County Homeless and Housing Alliance has developed Leading the Way Home, a comprehensive plan designed as the next phase of ending the cycle of homelessness in Palm Beach County. Now therefore be it proclaimed by the Board of County Commission of Palm Beach County, Florida, assembled in regular session this 23rd day of January 2024, that January 25th through 26th, 2024 in Palm Beach County is hereby proclaimed the 24-hour homeless point-in-time count day. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Woodward, Mayor, Commissioners. This is an opportunity where HUD has mandated that communities across the entire country, come together and count those individuals who are unsheltered, individuals who are living in parks, under bridges, in their cars. It's an opportunity for us to survey them, to find out what led to their homelessness and to make sure that they're part of our system so that we can work as a team to get them housed and housed permanently. And so the Homeless and Housing Alliance, which is a group of nonprofit, government, and other providers who actually provide homeless services here in Palm Beach County, will be working with law enforcement and municipalities across the entire county on the 25th and the 26th for a 24-hour period to count those unsheltered individuals. And we're thankful to have more than 200 volunteers that will be working with the Homeless and Housing Alliance, with our law enforcement partners, to count these unsheltered homeless individuals. And we thank you for helping us to raise awareness about this critical issue.
Would Dr. Annette M. Gilbert and family please come forward? And the folks who are here to support her, please come forward.
Keeps the ranch.
Okay. Let's not burn the house down. Oh.
You know, we have so many folks who do the work in terms of mentoring and counseling for many of our students in Palm Beach County. And as a product of the school system here in Palm Beach County, it is truly, truly an honor to recognize you, Dr. Annette M. Gilbert. And we're presenting this certificate of recognition to you for your nearly 35 years of service to the school district of Palm Beach County as a guidance counselor and service to many of our residents in Palm Beach County. So congratulations.
Thank you, Commissioner Bernard, County Administrator Mrs. Baker, the Mayor, Vice Mayor, and to each of you in the audience, and to my loving family, church family, and some of my former students here today. I want to say thank you also to Juanita Emanuel, one of my students, and an attorney who was behind this, I'm sure. Also to some coworkers, Rick Harlow being here today. I want to say thank you to each of you. I'm honored today, and I thank God for the privilege to have served all these beautiful, beautiful individuals. When you're working, it's not work when you love it. It's just what you do, impartations and what have you. You look at it as a calling, the calling that it is. And sometimes you have a tendency to go on and on and on, and I would have done that unless God just kind of say, hey, okay, I'm gonna have you do something else now, you're done with this. He had to kind of snatch me out of it. But it was, I did it with heart, and I enjoyed it. You just never really know what's happening to the people that you're serving, but when you give it all that you can give, and you see the benefits of it, and when you see the results of it, the individuals that are here today, I mean, I can tell you that I have one student that I taught early on, 37 and a half, actually, she says 37 and a half years ago, but I also had the opportunity to train her daughter as a counselor. So we have, she has grandchildren now, okay? So it goes back that far, and I loved every moment of it. And I'm honored today. I give God glory and to each of you, the family, for the nominator, and just being here. And thank you so much.
While they're doing their photo, could I have Scott Kohut, Jim Now, Bob Tucker, and Cheryl Butt please come to the podium? Okay, good morning. We are here to recognize the 75th anniversary of the Boca Raton Airport. Mayor Sachs is here with me. We each get an appointee to this board, and we have both of our appointees are here representing. So I'll just go ahead and start. We are recognizing the 75th anniversary of Boca Raton Airport. Whereas the Boca Raton Airport is celebrating 75 years since its establishment as a public airport in 1948. Originating from a modest grass strip and maturing into a prominent general aviation facility in South Florida. And whereas the airport served as the Boca Raton Army Airfield during World War II, and it subsequently transformed into a civilian aviation hub that significantly contributes to the economic prosperity of the region. And whereas the airport's commitment to education is evidenced by the release of land for Florida Atlantic University and Palm Beach State College, along with its continuing partnership with area high schools, colleges, and universities to promote careers in aviation, demonstrating a dedication to both academic growth and community development. And whereas the Boca Raton Airport Authority's establishment in 1982 marked a pivotal moment, steering the airfield towards self-sustainability and reinforcing its enduring presence. And whereas the airport's economic impact is underscored by the presence of over 50 aviation and non-aviation businesses that significantly contribute to the county's employment base and economic diversification. And whereas essential developments, including the construction of the U.S. Customs facility and the air traffic control tower, along with collaborative efforts for noise abatement, exemplify the airport's commitment to safety and operational efficiency. And whereas Boca Raton Airport stands as a symbol of innovation, connectivity, and economic contribution to our community. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed by the Board of County Commissioners of Palm Beach County, Florida, assembled in regular session this 23rd day of January 2024, that the board hereby recognizes the 75th anniversary of Boca Raton Airport. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Woodward, Mayor Sachs, entire County Commission. We are truly thrilled to be here today with our board chair, Bob Tucker, our two county appointees, Cheryl Butt and Jim Now, to be celebrating 75 years of service to the general aviation community in South Palm Beach County. From our humble beginnings as a grass strip in the 30s, serving the burgeoning tourism industry, to the pivotal role the airport played in World War II war efforts. We have grown, innovated, and evolved with the local community into the $693 million economic engine supporting nearly 5,000 jobs that the airport is today. Business is flying to South Palm Beach County, and it's landing at the Boca Raton Airport. We thank you for your continued support and look forward to the next 75 years of helping our community soar.
As your mayor, I'd just like to say I'd like to thank Commissioner Woodward for honoring the Boca Raton Airport. Your airport has such a legacy of history within Palm Beach County that we should all be very, very proud of your presence here, your continued growth, as we hope it will in the years to come. But we are so proud of having one of the stellar airports, really not just in the state but in the country, right here in Palm Beach County. So thank you, Commissioner Woodward, for making this happen, and thank you all of you who work so hard on behalf of the people of Palm Beach County. Thank you. Thank you. This is the best part of our commission meetings, by the way, is these proclamations. And so I would like, at this time, to declare February 10th, and first let me call up Judy Levis Krug. Krug, thank you, appreciate it, good to see you. I would like to declare February 10th through March 4th, 2024, as the 8th annual Judy Levis Krug, Boca Raton Jewish Film Festival Days. Whereas Palm Beach County proudly supports and recognizes the significant contributions of cultural events in fostering enrichment within our community. And whereas Palm Beach County recognizes the Adolph and Rose Levis Jewish Community Center annual Judy Levis Krug Boca Raton Jewish Film Festival as Boca Raton's original Jewish Film Festival. And whereas the festival not only entertains, but also educates and inspires dialogue on a variety of topics relevant to our society, thereby fostering a greater understanding and appreciation of Jewish culture and history. And whereas the dedication of your leadership, your event organizers, your volunteers, filmmakers, and participants of the film festival contribute significantly to the vibrancy and communal spirit of our county. Whereas the festival's role in highlighting the richness of Jewish storytelling and cinematic excellence contributes to the cultural literacy and artistic appreciation among audiences of all backgrounds. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed by the Board of County Commissioners of Palm Beach County, Florida, assembled in regular session this 23rd day of January 2024, that February 10th through March 4th in Palm Beach County is hereby proclaimed the 8th annual Judy Levis Krug Boca Raton Jewish Film Festival Days. Excellent, thank you so much. Congratulations.
Good to see you, thank you. Okay, I'm not facing the,
Would you like to come up?
yeah, let me come up.
Film people, they know how to do it.
We know how to put on a show.
They know how to do it.
Okay. This is my team. Come on with me. My director, Lisa Barish, and Marcia Misrahi, is that right? And Nina Rosenwag. We're all a team for the Adolph and Rose Levis Jewish Community Center. So on behalf of the Board of Directors, the executive staff, I am Judy Levis Krug, and our incredible team, who we work tirelessly to bring this festival to life each year. We thank you for recognizing the importance of this treasured culture event in our Boca Raton, Florida. The Adolph and Rose Jewish Community Center is my parents who named the facility, is proud to screen the newest, most stimulating, and thought-provoking films that encourage audiences to expand their awareness and understanding of the Jewish world and engage in dialogue to explore the many diverse perspectives portrayed in the films that we present. Thank you all very much for this honor. We are delighted.
Since the mayor will be joining me for what would have been the next proclamation, I'm going to reverse orders. And I would like to call up some organizations that are here to support a very important effort of human trafficking prevention. And so this will be declaring Human Trafficking Prevention Month. So if Human Trafficking Coalition of the Palm Beaches, Palm Beach County Human Trafficking Task Force, Palm Beach County Victim Services, Flight, Catholic Charities, and Florida Faith Alliance would please join me. And I'm also honored that Commissioner Barnett will be joining me as well. Declaring January 2024 is Human Trafficking Prevention Month. Whereas human trafficking is a form of modern-day slavery impacting nearly 25 million people worldwide and occurs when a person is recruited, harbored, obtained, or exported through force, fraud, or coercion for the purpose of sexual exploitation, forced labor, involuntary servitude, debt bondage, and other forms of slavery. Whereas human trafficking is the fastest growing criminal enterprise in the world and is tied with arms smuggling as the second largest international criminal industry. Whereas human traffickers view Florida as one of the most attractive destinations and transit points for their victims and accounts for the third largest call volume to the National Human Trafficking Hotline. Whereas Palm Beach County was the first of Florida's 67 counties to implement an ordinance requiring posting of informational signs at certain types of facilities to inform potential trafficking victims of the remedies and protections provided by federal and state law. Whereas reports from the Florida Department of Children and Families indicates that among the calls to the child abuse hotline in Palm Beach County in 2023, there were more than 93 reports of the trafficking of minors, 77 of which were reports of commercial sexual exploitation of children, and 16 were reports of labor trafficking of children. Whereas Palm Beach County is committed to sending a strong message to perpetrators that our county has a zero tolerance for all forms of human trafficking. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed by the Board of County Commissioners of Palm Beach County, Florida, assembled in regular session this 23rd day of January, in Palm Beach County is hereby proclaimed Human Trafficking Prevention Month. I would like Heidi, someone who has been at the forefront of human trafficking in this county for longer than I will call her out for. She has been an absolute pillar in the community, so I would like you to speak to what you were able to accomplish legislatively to help with this, please, and how important it is to you.
Okay, I wasn't supposed to speak, but I'm very happy to speak about anything related to human trafficking, but I'm definitely going to turn it over to the president of the coalition and the task force in a second. But yeah, that's House Bill 369. I worked very hard to get that through. We approved signs in 5 locations. The airport, I'm glad to hear about the airport today. Congratulations, PBI, the best airport in Florida, in my opinion, as well as rest stops, highway rest stops, as well as strip clubs. I don't know if they're complying or not because I haven't been in there. But I do know hospitals and ERs that are required to have those signs do have them in our county. And the massage parlors. Those are the 5 places we were able to get the signs, but we encourage everybody who wants to post a sign, no harm, no foul, why not do that and save a life? But I really appreciate you, as usual, Commissioner Baxter, taking the fight against this terrible crime to the forefront, as well as Commissioner Burnett. Thank you so much. I'm gonna turn it over to Laura Cusack and let her do the honors, but thank you guys.
Laura's being shy. I'm Grant Henderson with Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office. On behalf of the task force, I wanted to thank Commissioner Baxter for the proclamation and fellow commissioners for recognizing this today. This proclamation brings much needed attention to a very serious issue in the county, human trafficking, which Florida unfortunately ranks 3rd in the country, and Palm Beach County unfortunately ranks 3rd in the state. I will give you the good news. Our human trafficking task force has made over 60 arrests this past year. on human trafficking crimes. Most importantly, I want to let you know that the detectives and service providers and advocates that do this work are the best that I've had the privilege to work with in 24 years at the Sheriff's Office. They make us proud with every case that they're involved in. I additionally wanted to thank all of our partners because we can't do this by ourselves. Just to name a few: Catholic Charities, FBI, HSI, the Human Trafficking Coalition, and Flight Center. Without them and the task force and the services that we're able to provide, we wouldn't be able to do what we do. So thank you very much. We really appreciate the recognition.
My name is Lynn Barletta, and I'm the founder and CEO of Florida Faith Alliance, and our focus is on children because child trafficking is the fastest growing crime in the world, excuse me, and America is the biggest buyer of sex. And I just want to say that we are collaborating with some other organizations, including Visionary School of Arts, to provide awareness videos for children. Our goal is to get into all 67 counties, and we are working with Martin County Schools currently. Florida Faith Alliance is just now bringing 11 proclamations across 4 counties, 7 cities in January and February. And we've been working with State House Representative Toby Overdorf on Bill HB3, which is to limit child viewing of pornography, which is creating a terrible addiction. We'd like for you all to consider supporting Bill HB3. Now, the call to action for our county commissioners is to consider coming to an awareness presentation that is being held at Palm Beach State College on January 31st and ask local citizens to attend. The Bible says in Hosea 4:6, "My people perish for lack of knowledge." Proverbs 31:8 says, "We will speak up for those who cannot speak for themselves and ensure justice for those being crushed." And I want to thank my team here, my liaison, Kim Stryker. Also, thank you so much, Gabriella Fox. I also want to recognize Officer Adrian Matadaldo, who is the head of the Homeless Division, works with Human Trafficking Task Force, also Officer Edwards, and all of the volunteers that came to stand with us today. And I believe you have a video to show. Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you, Commissioner Baxter.
Real quick before the video, Commissioner, you don't want to say it? Okay.
This awareness video is to educate you. We want you to be equipped, and above all, don't take the bait.
Hi, my name is Hannah Connolly. I am a graduate from Martin County High School and founder of the first Human Trafficking Awareness Club at my school. I am here to equip you and give you the tools needed to be protected from predators and traffickers. It is so important to know that all children and teens are at risk. And for your sake and the sake of your friends, this may save a life. Did you know that the average age of girls victimized in trafficking is between 12 and 14 years old? And for a boy, it is 11. Florida is the #3 state in the nation for reported cases of human trafficking. So who is the trafficker? It could be a boyfriend, a gang, an online friend, a neighbor, or even a family member. If you have full access to social media, that means that social media has full access to you. YouTube and many other apps can be used to look through your phone, into your home, and contact you. Dating apps are a large platform that traffickers tend to use. 150,000 brand new escort ads are posted online every day. Children are bought and sold through these dating apps constantly. These are the top games that traffickers use. A trafficker will take up to 2 years to convince a child that they are the same age and want to be a friend. Sexting while still a minor is illegal. The reason it's illegal is that these images may be intercepted by or distributed to someone other than who it was originally sent to, compromising the privacy and safety of the original sender. Someone could begin threatening you that if you don't send more graphic pictures of yourself and your body, then they will expose you at school, to your family, and all over social media. Sexting and sextortion is the fastest growing gateway to trafficking.
Sexting and sextortion doesn't just happen locally in our communities. These crimes can extend not only to other counties, but also other states.
But just remember this, don't take the bait.
What would it take to bait you? If you have a dream, they're gonna promise to make it happen. Maybe you want to hear, I'm proud of you. Maybe you'd like someone to say, you're beautiful. The predator will promise to take you wherever you want to go. So the important thing is, don't take the bait.
The important thing to remember is don't take the bait.
Hey, if someone wants to show you porn, don't take the bait.
Don't take the bait. Don't take the bait.
Don't take the bait. Don't take the bait.
Don't take the bait.
Went to every school. And it's so important because trafficking is a gateway. Sexting and sextortion is actually the gateway to trafficking. So thank you very much.
Thank you for coming out.
Okay, continuing on. I would like to call up, if you can on this side, Nicole Smith, Lisa Chownan, Jessica Pachula, Danielle Crouch, Jamie Bellamy, and on behalf of PalmTram, Deborah Posey-Blocker and Evan Henderson. Very nice. Very nice, very good. Okay. Today, I am so honored to declare January 27th, 2024 as Susan G. Komen More Than Pink Day, Walk Day. It's critical to provide support to help those facing breast cancer because approximately 1/3 of breast cancer deaths could be prevented if everyone received high-quality care that exists today. And whereas the COVID-19 pandemic has caused additional burdens and barriers to breast cancer treatment and patient care, whereas the Susan G. Komen Patient Care Center is designed to remove barriers and help achieve health equity by providing access to high-quality care to anyone, anywhere in the United States. And whereas the Susan G. Komen West Palm Beach More Than Pink Walk will be held on January 27th at the Meyer Amphitheater in downtown West Palm Beach to offer support to those who have been impacted by breast cancer and to further the mission of Susan G. Komen. And whereas money raised by participants and donated by sponsors advance research to find new discoveries and more effective treatments helps to provide evidence-based breast health education and directs vital patient services and support in our community. Whereas the More Than Pink Bus is a partnership of Susan G. Komen PalmTram and Lamar Advertising, and will be seen by more than 544,000 times a month. So, the Susan G. Komen More Than Pink Walk Day helps raise awareness of the importance of quality screening and expansion of treatment of breast cancer. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed by the Board of County Commissioners of Palm Beach County, Florida, assembled in regular session this 23rd day of January 2024, that January 2027 in Palm Beach County is hereby proclaimed Susan G. Komen More Than Pink Walk Day. So proud of all of you. And who would like to speak on behalf of the group? Go right in.
Hi, thank you so much, everyone. My name is Jamie Bellamy. I'm the Development Director for Susan G. Komen, and West Palm Beach is my hometown, but I do cover the whole state. And I just want to personally thank our survivors, Nicole Smith and Lisa Chowan. They are two of our warriors in pink. And when you see the bus, we have a group of 4. These ladies were able to join us today, and it is through their dedication and their commitment to helping, Komen further advance in research and just the messaging to please get screened for breast cancer. And I just wanted to thank also PalmTran for our partnership. It brings that messaging to everyone in the community. Now everybody should be getting their first screening at 40 years old. So please talk to your doctor as well about additional risks that you might be facing. And I just wanted to thank everyone here again today for your support. We hope you can join us on Saturday, the 27th. We'll be at the Meyer Amphitheater, just a few steps away from here, and it's going to be a great morning. And we have it is free for everyone that attends, and a free breakfast for anyone that's a breast cancer survivor. So, thank you, and I'd like to bring up one of you guys.
Good morning, everyone. PalmTran is particularly excited for this event, not only because we get to walk and encourage people to come out to support all those in our community, but also because we are our mode of transportation in Palm Beach County, and we're hoping that people will take us to the race and alleviate some parking and traffic that comes along with that. And so we are offering $5 added to your Paradise Pass account with the promo code Komen2024. And so we hope to see you out there. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Now for the picture.
While they're taking pictures, I'm going to have the privilege of recognizing that this has been declared by the state of Florida, Florida Jewish History Month. So I would like Rabbi Shapiro, Rabbi Brody, Rabbi Denberg, Rabbi Namdar, and Rabbi Gans, please forgive me if I did not pronounce that, and any other rabbis or anyone here also supporting Jewish History Month to please join me. I have also asked that the mayor, when she is finished taking pictures over there, to join me over here. Hi, guys. We're making the mayor get her steps in today. So, declaring January 2024 as Florida Jewish History Month. Whereas Florida is home of a diverse and thriving community that encompasses a rich array of cultural and ethnic backgrounds contributing to the unique tapestry of our great state. Whereas Jewish Americans have played significant and enduring roles in shaping the history, culture, prosperity, and growth of our communities. Whereas January provides a fitting opportunity to recognize and celebrate the invaluable contributions of Jewish Americans in Florida, acknowledging their steadfast commitment to the principles of democracy, diversity, and unity. Whereas Jewish History Month serves as a meaningful occasion to honor the accomplishments, traditions, and cultural heritage of Jewish Americans, fostering a great understanding and appreciation of their integral role in our state's history. Whereas residents are encouraged to participate in activities and events that commemorate and celebrate the enduring legacy of Jewish Americans and promote unity, understanding, and appreciation for the rich contributions they have made. Now, therefore, let it be proclaimed by the Board of County Commission assembled this day, Florida Jewish History Month. And before I turn over the mic, I'm just going to add a personal note. I have never read about a history of a more enduring group of people who have been persecuted for centuries, time and time again. And we have 1 to every 6 residents in this county are Jewish. And it is such an amazing part of our history, our culture, and what has helped shape Palm Beach County. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you for being here. Thank you for this. And If one of you or all of you would like to.
That's a risky question when you ask that.
I know.
How long do you got? So thank you, Commissioner Baxter, and Mayor, Vice Mayor, and the County Commissioners. On behalf of the Jewish community, we would like to extend sincere gratitude to the County Commissioners for today's proclamation. In a world clouded by hatred and darkness and anti-Semitism, our mentor, the Lubavitcher Rebbe, taught us that every little bit of light, every act of goodness and kindness dispels much darkness. Today's proclamation serves as a beacon of light amid darkness, and we deeply appreciate your unwavering support, providing a much-needed sense of safety for the Jewish community to thrive here in Palm Beach County. I'd also like to take this opportunity, if I could, to ask the Commission to think about proposing down the line the permissibility of houses of worship on preserved land to provide us the benefits for the county residents, a strong sense of community and connection in the future. Once again, we thank you for your unwavering support and making it safe for us to be here. There's no greater place to live in America than Palm Beach County for a Jew. And lighting that candle of goodness in this dark time. And to conclude, I would like to say a blessing that we say every Saturday in the synagogue for those who are in public office. We bless you every single Saturday, and it's like this. We say, those who occupy themselves faithfully in communal affairs, may the Holy One, blessed be He, give them their reward, remove from them all sickness, heal their entire body, pardon all their sins, and send blessing and success to all their endeavors, together with Israel, their brethren, and let us say, Amen.
I also want to thank all the commissioners. In the last 35 years that I've had the privilege of living here in Palm Beach County, I've been in this room multiple times, and with each time, without fail, there's been always an unwavering support for the growth of the Jewish community as well as the communities that populate this beautiful county. And from the time that the first Jew wandered the world, Abraham, I think that the Jewish nation has always seen two things. One, that they have a personal role and obligation to do what they can to better not only their own plight in life, but also the community that they live in, and also that the history of the Jewish people are inseparable with the history of the place that they live in. We're not living two paths of life, but actually it's all intertwined and commingled, so that the safety of one resident ensures the safety of the other. The ability to be free to practice your religion promises the freedom for all religions. And so I thank you all for your service. I know that community service is not always easy, but thank you for this recognition. And since you did your part, hopefully we'll continue to do our part as a Jewish community to continue to be a positive influence to the people around us and the community that we are thankful to be able to be living in. Thank you very, very much.
And as mayor, I'd like to thank Commissioner Baxter for bringing this forward. You know, Palm Beach County would not be Palm Beach County without the tremendous legacy that has given to us by the Jewish community. And we are committed, and I am committed as mayor, to find more appropriate land for continuing Chabads. Because every time we have a Jewish community school and we have a synagogue, we have the blessings that come from the Torah and from your many prayers, which I am privileged to receive all the time on my phone, the prayers from the rabbis from Tallahassee down to here. And I thank you, and it is a blessing for all of us to have this richness, this beautiful richness. And as the wife of a Holocaust survivor, it is particularly noteworthy to me personally that we protect freedom of religion and that we allow the beautiful teachings of this religion to permeate every part of Palm Beach County life. Thank you, Commissioner. Thank you, rabbis. And now we have the picture. Thank you very much.
last but not least, we must first kill all the lawyers if you want to live in a society that is devoid of peace and order, filled with chaos. Being a lawyer myself and a proud member of the bar, it is an honor to honor some really great lawyers in our community who have upheld what it means to be a great lawyer and an advocate for clients. Jones Foster is a commercial and private client law firm headquartered in West Palm Beach, Florida. Established in 1924, the firm has served as an integral part of South Florida's growth and prosperity for a century. Through a relentless pursuit of excellence, Jones Foster delivers original legal solutions that help clients, colleagues, and the community to move forward. And I'd like to invite the chairman, Scott Hawkins, Theo Kiprios, Ed Ratka, Stephen Rothman, Tracy Carvalho, to come join me as I make this presentation and proclamation. Proclamation of the Board of County Commissioners of Palm Beach County, Florida, recognizing the 100th anniversary of Jones Foster. Whereas the law firm of Jones Foster traces its roots in the Palm Beach County legal community back to 1924, and whereas Jones Foster is deeply rooted in Palm Beach County, serving as partners in progress to individuals, businesses, and municipalities for over 100 years. And whereas the firm's attorneys have served as legal advisors to the county and many of its municipalities, and 6 attorneys have been appointed to serve in the judiciary. And whereas the firm's attorneys have served as presidents of state and local bar associations and legal industry organizations, including the Florida Bar, the Palm Beach County Bar Association, and its Young Lawyers section, the Palm Beach County chapters of the Federal Bar Association, and the American Board of Trial Advocates. And whereas over the past century, the firm's attorneys have held leadership roles in county-based nonprofit agencies, institutions, and foundations to support local advocacy critical to the well-being and quality of life for residents. And whereas many of the firm's attorneys have contributed to furthering higher education opportunities and promoting economic development of Palm Beach County through their leadership roles at Palm Beach Atlantic University, the University of Florida Foundation, and its College of Law and Medicine, the Economic Council of Palm Beach County, the Chamber of Commerce of the Palm Beaches, the Palm Beach Chamber of Commerce, and the Palm Beach Civic Association. And whereas we recognize the 100th anniversary of the law firm Jones Foster as a business serving Palm Beach County. Now therefore be it proclaimed by the Board of County Commissioners of Palm Beach County, Florida, assembled in regular session on this 23rd day of January, 2024, that the board hereby recognizes the 100th anniversary of Jones Foster.
Mayor Sachs, Vice Mayor Marino, Commissioner Barnett, members of the commission, Administrator Baker, it's an honor for us to have an opportunity to be recognized in this manner. 100 years is a long period of time for an institution to exist in Florida. I note that Palm Beach County was actually formed in 1909, split from Dade County. Thank you for staff for reminding me of that. I'm joined here today by our Vice Chair, Theo Kypris, and a board member, Stephen Rothman, and Edward Ratka, our Director of Administration. We're a 40-lawyer law firm. We represent several local governments. We have 3 offices throughout county. We are Palm Beach County-centric, and we appreciate very much the opportunity to be part of this robust, dynamic, and wonderfully diverse county. Thank you for the recognition.
Vice Mayor Marino, you're recognized.
If you don't mind my taking a point of privilege, in a previous life, I used to run a children's foundation, and Jones Foster was always a supporter of that foundation. And it's important when our private businesses support our local foundations, because that money, as you've seen today, all the good work that gets done, we can't do it alone. So when there's a partnership with private business supporting nonprofits, we greatly appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, and as we await Commissioner Barnett to join Commission, we're going to proceed to page 89, public hearings.
Mayor, could I be recognized?
Yes, of course.
For the benefit of the clerk, could you restate the maker and the seconder for the agenda adoption?
Is that the clerk speaking? Like a voice from above. I'm sorry, could you go ahead and repeat it?
Could you restate the maker and the seconder for the agenda adoption?
I believe the second was Commissioner Woodward. Got it? It was, yes. Are we fine now, Mr. Clerk? Very good. Okay. Very good. Good to see staff right up here quickly. We're going to move right on to page 89, and that is public hearings. I'm going to ask the attorney, do we need to go through probably every one on Palm Tram, which is presented here on the top of page 89 or could I have a motion for A1, A, B, C, and D? Very good. Okay, proceeding on to that.
Mayor, may I be recognized again?
Yes.
We have a motion to receive and file before that.
Yes, we could have a motion to receive and file.
I'll make
I
a
see-
motion, we receive and file proof of publication.
Second.
Very good. Did you see who did this? Okay, very good. All those for, anybody opposed? See that it passes 6-0. Now, tentatively, I move on, watching the clerk. So if I could have a motion for A1, A, B, C, and D at this time.
Madam Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve item 5A, 1A, B, C, and D.
And I have a second with my vice mayor. All those for, anybody opposed? See that it passes 6-0 unanimously. Commissioner Bernard, would you like to say?
Yeah, I just want to make sure that I do recognize Attorney Richard Rouse, who's in the audience, so thank you very much.
Very good, so recognized. Thank you, Commissioner. And Administrative Baker.
Commissioners, I did speak with you. We did hire a contractor to assist with Palm Tran, so I'd like to introduce Michael Blaylock. He has a significant amount of experience in transportation, and he has been at a number of top-level transit organizations. So he brings a lot of experience to help us through this interim period of time.
I believe he's been working with our Palm Tram for a while as well.
Yes, he has.
Very good.
He
So
has been working
experience.
with our system for a very long time.
Welcome, sir. Welcome to the team. Thank you. All right, moving on to 6A1, and with the permission of the county attorney, I'd like to include 6A1A and B at this time for a motion to approve. Is that fine?
Yes.
Very good. Okay, so if I could have, and maybe before you sit down, Ms. Beebe, if I could have a motion to approve 6A, 1A, and B by Commissioner Bernard and
Madam Mayor?
Yes, sir.
I'd like to make that motion for is it A1, A, and B? Yeah, okay, yes. And I do have to also recognize Commissioner Kathleen Ward from the city of West Palm Beach. I didn't see you, so good to see you.
Welcome. Thank you. So you have, you've moved for the, okay, and do we have a second?
Second.
And a second by Commissioner Baxter. All those for it? Anybody opposed? See that it passes 6-0. Thanks. One day we'll have you sit down. Okay. Moving on. Oh, we have another, so stay there. And that is, appears to be 6A2. And with the approval of the county attorney, if I could have a motion to approve 6A2A and B. And I see a first by Commissioner Woodward and a second by Commissioner Baxter. Bernard. Barnett. It's so easy, too. Barnett. Right. Everybody approve? Anybody oppose? See that it passes 6-0. Congratulations, Ms. Beebe. All right, moving right on to the next page, 6B1, A, B, and C. Is that okay, Madam Attorney?
Yes.
Very good. And if I could have A motion to approve?
Mayor, I'd like to make the motion to approve 6B1, A, B, and C.
Very good. Thank you, and that is seconded by the Vice Mayor. All those for, anybody opposed? See that it passes 6-0. Thank you, and moving right on to, and this would be 6B2, A and B.
Madam Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve items 6B2A and B.
Very good. Do I have a second?
Second.
By the Vice Mayor. All those for, anybody opposed? See that it passes 6-0. And moving right on to 6B3. 6B3. Okay.
Mayor,
Yes, sir.
can I
Commissioner
make a
Barnett, you're
motion to approve item 6B3?
Very good. By Commissioner Barnett, we have a motion to approve 6B3, seconded by the Vice Mayor. Are those for? Anybody opposed? See that it passes 6-0. Moving right along to 6B3. 6B3. Oh, I see. Okay, very good. Thank you for coming. Now we're moving on to 6C1, and I know we have a card. Do we have a card on this one, Commissioner? No? Okay. I'm going to pass another card to you, and let me know before we get there.
Mayor,
Okay. Yes, Vice Mayor.
I will make a motion to approve 6C1.
Okay, and I have a second by Commissioner Baxter. Are those for? Anybody opposed? Before they sit down, we have it passed 6-0. Good to see you all. Now going on to 6C2, A and B. Do I have a card on that, Commissioner? No? Okay, very good. Do I have a motion to approve?
Mayor, I'd like to make the motion to approve 6C, 2A, B, and C.
Very good. By Commissioner Baxter, do I have a second? By Commissioner Woodward. All those for it, anybody opposed? See that it passes 6-0. Now going on to 6C3. Oh, wait a minute, I think that's a continuation. We've already passed that. So this is real good. We're going on to...
No, we didn't do three.
No, we have not. Okay. Very good. And we do have a card. So we have two cards on it. So looking at 6C3, Commissioner Woodward, would you like to read the card?
Yes. We have two cards. We have Michelle Jacobs and Jack Weir. You can each take one podium if you'd like to come forward, please.
Thank you. Good morning, Mayor, Vice Mayor, County Commissioners, Administrator Baker, team. I feel like we're part of the housing team. My name is Michelle Jacobs, President and CEO for the Economic Council of Palm Beach County. I am here to first say thank you. This has been a long journey and a great partnership for what you are going to be hearing today about the Housing for All plan. We really appreciate all the collaboration that has gone into this plan. The Economic Council feels very strongly that this countywide plan is going to be a great step towards helping address our housing crisis here in Palm Beach County. So your support in endorsing and supporting this plan is greatly appreciated, and I just wanted to take the opportunity to say thank you, and looking forward to now getting some units out there. So
excellent. Thank you so much for your support. Sir, you're recognized. State your name.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Good morning to all. I'm here, Jack Weir, as the chairman of the Housing Leadership Council, nonprofit housing advocacy group for workforce and affordable housing in the county. I wanted to speak in favor of the resolution before you to endorse and support the Housing for All plan. I'd like to acknowledge contributions from several folks. One would be the Housing Leadership Council, the staff, Suzanne Cabrera and Leslie, as well as the board. I'd also like to acknowledge the contributions of over 100 community stakeholders that are set forth in the housing plan. They constituted the Housing Steering Committee. There were a series of presentations and meetings that they held throughout the pandemic in 2021. That became the genesis of the housing plan. I'd like to thank Michelle and the support of the Economic Council. We would not be here without the support of the business community. And then finally, I'd like to thank the staff. This has been a long process, as you know. It was first presented to the county staff in March of 2022. It was basically put on the back burner while we focused on the bond campaign and the successful campaign to pass the bonds. The revised and updated version was submitted in February of '23, and since that time, we've worked with the staff to come up with a Housing for All plan that would satisfy the needs and requirements of all the parties there. And we've done that. It took a lot of work, but we got there, so I'd like to acknowledge the contributions of the staff and the team. So this is an end in one respect. The approval of the plan will basically launch it forward. And it's also a beginning. It's not a self-executing plan. It's going to require contributions not only from the county government, but also from municipalities. It's going to require action from lenders, investors, developers, and it's also going to require input from the philanthropic community to help target some of the lower income housing as well. And after this hopefully passes, we'll be working with the Community Foundation to launch a philanthropic initiative aimed at housing support in Palm Beach County as well. So happy to answer any questions after the staff makes a presentation if they come up, but thank you very much for your patience and your support throughout the process. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for your support. There any other questions, or does anybody wish to ask anything of the staff? If not, we're going to proceed to a vote on 6C3. And
I don't mean to interrupt, did we get a first and a second for the motion?
I'm ready for that.
I'll make
Okay,
the
if I
motion.
could have a first.
Madam Mayor, I make a motion to move item 6C3.
Very good.
I will second.
And with a second by the Vice Mayor. Those for, anybody opposed, see that it passes 6-0. Now moving on to the next page, which is 6C4. Do we have any cards on that, Commissioner? No. All right. Does anybody wish to have a presentation, or should we proceed on to a first? All right. Would anybody like to?
Mayor, I'll make
Yes.
a motion. Well, actually, this is discussion. We need board direction, so I think at this time, we probably need discussion.
Anybody wish to say anything or to hear a report? Okay. Seeing none.
So, Mayor,
We do have.
Commissioner Baxter, go right ahead.
Thank you, Mayor. I was just going to thank everyone's work on this. And when this was explained to me, I believe this is, they want direction based on the ad valorem tax exemption program. I was in huge favor. However we can help move along housing and the economic development. I mean, as we know, it's a huge part of my district. It's very important. So I just wanted to thank you. And I'm not sure which direction or if they would like direction to proceed with the program, but I would like to support that.
Very good. And I'm sure you're going to be very involved in this? Yes. Go ahead.
Right. County staff is seeking direction on whether to send the referendum to the voters.
do you want to make
Definitely. Okay.
I'd like to make the motion to send the referendum to the
voters.
voters to extend this program. Thank you.
And I will second.
And we have a first by Commissioner Baxter, second by the Vice Mayor. All those for, anybody opposed, see that it passes 6-0. Very good.
Thank you.
Thank you for that. Now we're going to go on to board appointments. 7A1, appears that we have choices for the appointment of one member to the Healthcare District, to the, so for a 2-year term. Do we have any of the applicants here today?
We do.
Yes, if you could step forward. With the board's approval, I would like to hear from each one. Is that fine? Okay, so we're going to go in order of your appearance. John McGovern? Sir?
I don't believe
Is John
John's here.
McGovern here?
I believe so.
I don't believe so. I don't see him. That's fine. We're going to move on to Shalonda Warren. Go right ahead. And then maybe Kathleen Ward, you might want to come over to this side. All right. Ms. Warren, you're recognized.
Thank you very much. My name is Shalonda Warren. I am a commissioner for the city of West Palm Beach. I'm currently serving as the commission president. I have been with the commission for 3 years. I have served as the CEO of the Sickle Cell Foundation of Palm Beach County and Treasure Coast for 10 years. I have received funding and supported, worked very closely with the healthcare district. They actually helped me to develop a curriculum to get out into the community to deliver education on reducing Black infant mortality throughout the county. So I have worked with the healthcare district in the past. I understand the work that they do. They are doing a tremendous amount of work. They've been serving the community for approximately 50 years, as has the Sickle Cell Foundation, and I am looking forward to the opportunity to serve in a different manner moving
Very
forward.
good. Thank you so much, Ms.
Thank you.
Warren. Thank you for your willingness to serve. And now I'd like to recognize Ms. Ward, Kathleen Ward. Go right
Yes,
ahead.
good morning. I too am on the City Commission, West Palm Beach District 1. I'm an attorney and I work at Ward Damon as my other day job in corporate transactions. And how I got involved with the healthcare district actually years ago was my father used to chair the healthcare district, and that's what originally piqued my interest. And since then in District 1, we have had one of the long-standing remaining county housing shelters, as well as one of the areas that housed and helped some of our mentally ill right across the street closed. And what we have seen in that area is a spike in needs for services when it comes to mental illness and wraparound services. And through that, noticing that and through those efforts, I continued to meet with existing board members and the head Darcy, who's a phenomenal addition to the healthcare district, on ways that we can try to help and solve that problem within our county and be leaders in the nation. And that has led me to then reach out and have conversations with some of my commissioners, and that is why I applied today. So thank you.
Thank you very much for your willingness to serve. If this time, what I'd like to do is probably have a roll call, and we will vote for one of the three, either John McGovern, Shalonda Warren, or Kathleen Ward. So we'll start with Commissioner Baxter to my right.
So I definitely would like to support Kathleen Ward, but Mayor, I would ask for a point of privilege, if you don't mind.
Go right ahead.
I would like to, I am curious as to, Ms. Ward, why were you not on the original list that we received of nominees?
I don't know. I sent a letter of intent along with my CV months ago, probably maybe this second quarter in May, to the county administrator after discussions with the current chair of the healthcare district and a lot of the alignment that I had, and was kind of pushed to apply. And I thought that was the direction that I was given, to provide a letter of intent and provide my background, and then I would receive an application. I unfortunately never heard back. And then with discussions with others in the healthcare district, and then with someone in your office about some of the issues with mental health, I was provided an application, and then I submitted it.
Thank you so much for sticking with it and submitting. And I would just like to ask, did we receive her letter of interest?
I will need to go back and double check. So it could have easily gone into my spam, or I just missed it altogether with the amount of emails that I received. So in case that happened, I do apologize. So I'm happy to see you here today.
And thank you. I just wanted to make sure that we get this straightened out, because I think you're a phenomenal candidate for this position because of your background. And I hope my board will also find that as well. Thank you.
Does anybody else wish to ask a question or give a statement? All right, very good. Go right ahead, Mr. Clerk. Starting with Commissioner Baxter.
Commissioner Baxter,
I'll shorten it this time. Ward.
Commissioner Bernard,
Commissioner Warren,
Vice Mayor Marino,
Ms. Ward.
Mayor Sachs,
Ms. Ward.
Commissioner Woodward,
Ms. Ward.
Commissioner Barnett.
Ms. Warren.
I believe that's 6-0.
And that would be for?
Ms. Ward.
No.
Very good. Thank you.
No.
Warren, sorry.
4-2.
4 to 2, sorry.
It's good to
in
count.
Ms. Ward's favor.
Okay, so could you announce it clearer?
Yes. That's 4 to 2 in Ms. Ward's favor.
Okay, very good. Ms. Ward, correct? Your names are so similar.
Happens a lot.
Very good. So it appears that Ms. Ward, Kathleen Ward, you have been selected by the Board of County Commissioners to serve the rest of this. One minute, we have a statement. Commissioner Woodward, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to say I met with both of you about this, and thank you so much. You're both very good candidates, and I do appreciate you both wanting to serve and hope that you continue to work with us and on the issues that you both brought to the table. I just wanted to thank both of you.
So, thank you so much, Ms. Warren, and thank you, Ms. Ward, and congratulations.
Thanks.
Very good. Thank you, ladies. Now we're going on to 7A1. And I think this was all taken care of by that last vote. So we're looking at comments at this time. And if I could begin with administration. Ms. Baker?
Appointments first.
Yes. I thought it was deleted, but we have it here. You can hold on to that for a minute, Ms. Baker. We're going to go on to commission district appointments. And does anybody have any district appointments? We're going to start with the right again. Commissioner Baxter.
Thank you, Mayor. I am reappointing Victoria Corris to the Citizens Committee on Airport Noise.
Thank you. Do we need to vote on that, Ms.?
No.
I don't think so, right?
No, I'm
We don't-
sorry.
We don't need to vote on the
No,
district.
you do not.
Okay, very good. All right, going on, anybody else?
Yes.
Commissioner Bernard.
Thanks, Madam Mayor. I'd like to appoint Allison Belcher to the Advisory Commission on Women.
Very good. All right, Vice Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor. I would like to reappoint Michael Prince to the Business Development Board of Palm Beach County.
Very good. And I have no appointments at this time, and Commissioner Woodward.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I'd like to appoint Sam Caliendo to the Zoning Commission and also appoint Glenn Groman to the Planning Commission.
Very good. Okay. And Commissioner Barnett?
Thank you, Mayor. I have no appointments.
This time, very good. Okay, if there's no other appointments at this time, we're going to move on to comments, and we're going to start with our administrator, Ms. Baker.
Mayor, members of the board, I did pass out the most recent updated status of the directives. There were a few that we had some glitches, so I will highlight those. On 12/19, the board directed staff to draft a letter of support under the mayor's signature for the BDB re-accreditation. We moved forward. Staff is working with Ms. Smallridge to ensure that we've got all the required informations, and you should have that letter by the end of this week, by Friday, for signature to go out. 12/5, the board directed Parks and Recreation staff to work with Limestone Community Advocate Group on the placement of an engraved paver brick at Limestone Creek. We did order that, and I won't steal the thunder from the district commissioner. I think she will have something else to add to that one. The bonds, directed staff to research and present a possible dedicated funding source for roads. The Monroe County Tourism Impact Fee was an exception. And so we are looking, there is a possibility for bonds, for transportation tax, for infrastructure tax. And when we come to you in January, at the end of the month for the workshop, those are things that can definitely be discussed and direction given by the board if we wanted to add any additional things into there. And then we're also moving forward. You directed us to prepare the detailed project list prior to the BCC workshop in January. You should receive your package today, and that information will be in process. We have research. You also gave us direction to research using impact fee interest dollars outside of the zones in which they were collected. Legal did complete that research, and we must abide by the rules that are in place. You can only use it within the zones collected. So we'll have that. And I'm happy to answer any further questions that you have.
Does anybody have any questions or comments for the administrator? Seeing none, why don't we go right down from District 1, and that is, sorry.
May I get you to approve receiving and filing?
Yes, we receive and file at this time. Very good. See that it passes 6-0. And it's fine with Mr. Clerk.
Mayor,
I'm
may I be
looking at him.
recognized?
Yes, sir.
Could we have the maker and the second?
Yes, of course we can. We have the first by Commissioner Woodward and a second by Commissioner Barnett. Very good. 6-0. All right. Now let's go from District 1, if there's any commissioner comments by Vice Mayor Marino.
Actually, I do have several. As Administrator Baker alluded to, I've been working with the town of Jupiter, and I would like to request board approval to work with County PZB staff on changing the name of Church Street from its intersection with Limestone Creek Road west through Jupiter Community Park to its terminus at Island Way to be renamed as the Edna Runner Way. The town will be sending a letter of support for that, and we have an opportunity in February to announce that and bring it forward at an event that the center is having for the Edna W. Runner Lifetime Achievement Award that will become a permanent award yearly. So if that would be okay with the rest of the board, I would like to go ahead and have staff finish that for us.
Very good. And we probably need a vote on that. So clerk is the boss. So the boss says we need a vote. So I'm sure, Vice Mayor, that's your first.
I would like to request
move.
board approval.
Very good. And we have a second by Commissioner Barnett. All those for, anybody opposed? See that passes 6-0.
Thank you.
Any others,
Yeah,
Vice Mayor?
Actually, I do have another.
I figured you would.
Well, yesterday we had a meeting of the Bioscience Land Advisory Board, which was a board put in place about 20 years ago when Scripps was first being developed in the area. And it was with the intent of obviously having more bioscience to support Scripps. It has been 20 years. The overlay really has not much of a need anymore. So at yesterday's meeting, a motion was made by Board Member Smith, seconded by our Vice Chair Primoroso, to bring it to the Board of County Commissioners to sunset the Bioscience Land Advisory Board. So that is what I'm asking here, is to sunset the Bioscience Land Advisory Board.
Very good. Do we have any questions for the Vice Mayor on that issue? All right, and I'm sure that you're moving for that, so we have a second by Commissioner Baxter. All those for it, anybody opposed? See that it passes 6-0. Vice Mayor, you still have the floor.
At this time, I am done. Thank you very much.
Very good, all right. Moving on, see now, Commissioner Greg Weiss is not here. Commissioner Barnett.
Thank you very much, Mayor. First of all, I want to thank Public Affairs, Board Services, and our legislative team, Todd, Ed Chase, Casey, Vicky, for an incredible Palm Beach County Days, an experience for all of us who did attend. I believe we had a large delegation from Palm Beach County, from the county folks to municipal. Despite the horrible weather, I think we did a lot of good. And Palm Beach County shined up in Tallahassee because of all of your efforts. And I want to thank you personally. I'm hoping and praying that your hard work will pay off at the end of the session when we are hopefully able to bring home some badly needed resources for our county and District 3 in particular. I also want to thank the firefighters who accompanied us everywhere we went, especially Brian Prather, who my new friend and firefighter who was with me everywhere. Thank you very much. I also want to thank Palm Beach County employees, all those who participated at John Prince Park this past weekend in the 12th annual Palm Beach County Kicks Asphalt Walk-a-thon Run. It was a great event, and very nice to see everyone enjoying our beautiful John Prince Park. You should come out and experience the wildlife and all the attractions and nature we have to offer right in the heart of our central district in Palm Beach County. Also to Sasha Lopez in my office on your completion of the walk and your accomplishment, as well as all of those, I think it was about 600 county employees. And I was passing out medals to all of them. I didn't walk this time, but I'm going to walk next time. And Laura as well in my office. And past Mayor Greg Weiss also participated. And congratulations on his victory. Also this past weekend, I had a chance to participate in the Promise Fund Pink Boots on the Ground and the bridge lighting ceremony over on Flagler. It was a very nice organization event led by Nancy Brinker, Julie Fisher, Cummings, and Lori Silvers. It's a powerful symbol of this community's unity in the fight against breast cancer and cervical cancer. If you haven't been screened, if you're out of that age, please, what are you waiting for? Go ahead and get screened. Also, please remember the Susan G. Komen More Than Pink Walkathon this Saturday, January 27th at the Meyer Amphitheater in downtown West Palm Beach. Registration opens at 7, so put on your walking shoes and get up early for a Saturday morning. It's for a good cause. Also, I want to recognize Rabbi Shapiro is still here, and I want to thank you for all of your work and the communications we've had with regards to the need for a house of worship in western Boca Raton, Delray Beach, for our Jewish community. And I want to echo this board's support for the need for a house of worship and would like to ask staff to explore the possibility of allowing houses of worship to be built in the preserved lands in the Ag Reserve. You remember during the whole GL Homes land swap debate, it was said that the county should help houses of worship find suitable locations to build when they benefit the citizens. And I really would like to see what that entails, if the board doesn't have any objections. Those are all my comments. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you very much. And with that in mind, we have a group of rabbis that are meeting with county staff to find places where we can build Chabads for not just a place of worship, but to educate the children. And we are actively working, and I want to thank, this is the Palm Beach County staff directors for this. So we will include you, Commissioner Barnett, in our discussions with that very much. And thank you, Rabbi Shapiro, and thank you to county staff for meeting with a number of the rabbis. We'll continue that search. All right.
Mayor,
yes.
Sorry, just for clarification.
Sure.
So are we moving forward with this as a directive, or are we combining this request in with the direction staff is moving in now, working with our community, Jewish community, on identifying areas?
I think that in response to that, Administrator, we're already working with staff. We had one meeting, we've scheduled a second, to find houses of worship for, especially for the Chabads. And and a Chabad, that I have learned, is also includes the schools. And so we're working on that as we speak. So I don't think that we need to replicate it. If we come to a point where we need to bring it to the board, we will at that time. But I will certainly involve Commissioner Barnett. He seems to accept it.
Make sure that we include Commissioner
Barnett in that.
And his office.
Right. And Commissioner Baxter, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mayor. Now I need clarification. So I believe the direction I understood that Commissioner Barnett was giving was to also, in addition to what was already being considered as possible land to build this, to also consider some of the preserve land?
No, I don't think that, and if I may, that was exactly what he said.
Oh.
But we are working on finding places for houses of worship without having to direct staff to look into that. Otherwise, we're replicating government. So with the permission of Commissioner Barnett. We're going to include him in our meetings with the rabbis and county staff to find appropriate places of, so that they can build Chabad, which is a synagogue and a school. And we're working on that now. If we get to a situation where we can't move forward on that, we'll bring it to the board. Administrator Baker, did you want to say something? Because I also have Vice Mayor Marino.
But I would like, if you don't mind, Mayor, for a chance for
Sure.
Commissioner Barnett to clarify.
Sure, go ahead, Commissioner.
Well, I've had conversations with Rabbi Shapiro. If, with your permission, can I invite Rabbi to come to the podium and share your opinion on what your vision is for houses of worship in preserved lands in the Ag Reserve, which is what my directive called for?
Thank you so much. I want to thank all those commissioners that I did have a chance to meet over the past 4 months since that vote took place, and those who I reached out to and wasn't able to have the appointment on time for meetings. I also want to thank Mayor Sachs for organizing a meeting with multiple rabbis and discussing various options. I think if it's possible, Mayor Sachs, and obviously it has to make sense for the board, but if there's a way to expedite the process, it will be extremely helpful because, things take time, and if by directing staff to see what could be done, it may expedite that conversation, it may be beneficial. And I know that you've put tremendous amount of time, and we met with, there could be options where, the county says, we'll allow just house of worship and not other uses, or maybe there's more. So I'm not in this level of government in any capacity, and just bringing this to your attention. If this is something that could be done, it would be beneficial. And we are extremely grateful, Mayor Sachs, for everything you have done over the past few months in trying to work with us and the other organizations, as mentioned back during the hearing that we had, that there's a tremendous infrastructure gap that's needed to be fixed. So across the board, if that's something that could be gain clarity on, it would be helpful for understanding on that front where we could and how we could move forward, as we do have these issues of where do we walk, location, etc., that we've gone through that in the past. So I do appreciate Mayor Sachs's comments and the time that she's put in, and as well as Commissioner Barnett, Commissioner Woodward, Commissioner Baxter, Commissioner Marino, Bernard, and Mayor Greg Weiss. Past Mayor Greg Weiss, and the time that you've all given to it. And if we could expedite it today a little bit, it will be definitely beneficial.
Good. Thank you, Rabbi.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. Ms. Baker.
I'm just waiting on.
Okay, I'm going to turn your light off. Vice Mayor Marino.
Thank you. I guess I'm a little hesitant in this. It's like pulling a thread on a sweater, So I have two questions. One is what is the definition of preserved land, and what are the allowable uses on it?
I may take a privilege here if I could. Commissioner Barnett, would you be willing to withdraw that directive in light of the fact that we're in meetings presently with the various rabbis to find available land for them in Palm Beach County that is close to their congregation?
Is what staff currently working on, does it include searching for suitable lands, properties for houses of worship within the Ag Reserve?
It's
For
everywhere,
preserved lands?
absolutely.
Then I'll withdraw.
Okay, thank you, sir, I appreciate it. And we will keep your staff apprised as we move forward with our meetings, because and you may not have known this, because you probably don't get the Sachs Sentinel, which has all this important information in it. But we are meeting with the rabbis. But the most important thing is staff. Our Palm Beach County staff is working with them to find a suitable land. And I'll tell you what we'll do is we'll give those reports to all members of the Board of County Commissioners so that everybody is kept abreast of what we're working on with the rabbis. Thank you, Rabbi Shapiro. And Commissioner Baxter, did you want to, are you?
With your permission,
Sure.
Mayor, would you mind if just briefly, maybe prior to Commissioner comments, each first of the month meeting, they just give us an update on the progress of where this is? So we know, we would like to see some progress. I don't know that speeding things up is always the answer, but getting just a brief update on where it stands.
Absolutely. What we can do is, after the next meeting, I'll submit a letter to every county commissioner, and I welcome your input. We can't work together on it because of sunshine, but if you have any land available that would be acceptable to the rabbis, that would be very, very helpful, because there's certain restrictions as to where they can build a Chabad. So I would certainly welcome your input as well, because I know in Commissioner Woodward's district, there's already, I think, 12 acres that they're building a Chabad on. And that way we can all participate and help our good folks from the Jewish organizations to find a place of worship in Aum. Thank you. Vice Mayor Marino, did you want to say something?
Sorry, I'm done.
Oh, okay, very good. Okay, now I want to thank you, Commissioner Barnett, for that. We're going to move forward. Now we're going to go to Commissioner Woodward.
Yes, thank you, Mayor, and thank you, Commissioner Barnett, for bringing this up. It's a discussion that we need to have. I know I've had meetings as well, and land's hard to come by, and we may have to have discussions on how to move forward with this, but I'm happy to hear and very much I would like to receive communications as appropriate that we can receive and how this is moving forward.
Very good, thank you.
Thank you for that. Also, I'd like to echo Palm Beach County Days. Thank you, everyone, for a pretty successful week. It was a lot, and we'll have to see in a few months on how successful we were, but I think that we gave it our best, and we still have teams up there working to bring home some appropriations and also eyeing legislation that we're either concerned about or in support of. With that being said, I'd like to let everyone know, Tri-Rail, I'm the representative on the board for Tri-Rail. I have my pin on. We took the train into downtown Miami last Friday. So it's the Miami Metro Rail. You can actually take, from West Palm Beach right here, you can take the train all the way down into downtown where the Brightline station goes. The trains are actually pulling in side by side with each other. And on the weekends, that's a $5 round trip. If anybody wanted to go down there, it was amazing. We got to go in on the first train, going in, a large group of people. We picked up several stops along the way. Big celebration. With that milestone having been achieved, the next big mark is to connect to the VA up here in West Palm Beach. So it's going to be daunting, but that's the next place that we're looking at. It be a huge benefit for all of our veterans, and just connecting, going into that corridor could open up a lot of opportunities for commuter rail moving forward. And we are having an app that we're moving forward with. It's actually on our agenda this week. Broward's kind of taken the lead on this, but it will be an app that connects all of our train buses, Miami-Dade, Broward, us, where you can actually buy your ticket through the app and go on a bus, a train, whatever it is, all throughout all three counties, to really kind of, streamline the process for people so they're not having to figure out, okay, I took the train to here, now where do I go? So that's, we're moving forward with technology. I'm really sad Commissioner Weiss isn't here for that. I know he loves technology too, but he's out learning about different things for us. I'd just like to put that out there, and it feels like it's been a long time since we've been together. I did catch the flu over Christmas, so I feel like I lost about a month of my life, but getting back to it, and I look forward to what's coming. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Commissioner. And now, Commissioner Sarah Baxter.
I want to reiterate what fellow commissioners have said in thanking staff for a very successful Palm Beach County Days, and a special thank you to our legislative team, plus Todd, for really helping with County Road 880. Everyone knows I've spent a lot of time fighting for this in Tallahassee and locally, just trying to get all the pieces moving forward. So thank you for everyone, and thank you for my fellow commissioners, Vice Mayor, Mayor, for your support as well. So thank you.
Very much. And if I could, as the Supervisor of Elections prepares for the March municipal elections, we need to designate the BCC's canvassing board members. So with that in mind, I'm asking for a motion to appoint Commissioner Greg Weiss, and I'm sure he is telling me right now that he accepts this, as a substitute member serving on the canvassing board for the 2024 March municipal elections. And for the alternate member seat, I am appointing Vice Mayor Maria Marino to serve in that capacity for the March municipal elections. So if I could have a...
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
And a second. Passes unanimously 6-0. By the way, I did Commissioner Weiss did know about this, so it's not that I'm volunteering in abstention.
Falling told.
Although, could happen if you're not here. Also, I am asking for approval for an off-site proclamation declaring March 2024 as All People's Day. And I see I have a first by Commissioner Barnett and a second by Commissioner Woodward. All those for it, nobody opposed, see that it passes unanimously. And lastly, an off-site proclamation recognizing March 2024 as the 38th anniversary of JARC, which is a Jewish Association of Residential Care for Florida. And I see that I have a first by the Vice Mayor, second by Commissioner Bernard. Thank you, Bernard. Thank you, Mac. All those for, anybody against, see that it passes 6-0. And now I'm going to go to District 7, Commissioner Mac Bernard.
Can I just pipe in one?
Oh, sure, go right ahead.
Max, it's going to be a long conversation.
Yes, go ahead, Vice Mayor.
Sorry, I should have said this earlier. I do want to thank staff. Greg, Mac, and I were all up for Florida Association of Counties last week and had the opportunity to walk the floors again. And County Road 880 was a major, major, major topic. So every office we went into, we spoke about 880, we spoke about Peanut Island and a lot of the other appropriations that we've got on. And we were very well received. And so I just want to say thank you to staff, thank you to the FAC staff for having, Jared Perdue was there, Wilton Simpson was there. It was just a great collection of information, and I'm glad we were able to attend. And again, County Road 880 was a very major topic. So we just need to keep pounding the pavement because I think there'll be some help coming forward. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Vice Mayor. And now, Commissioner Mac Bernard.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. First of all, I'd like to request an off-site proclamation for Commissioner Greg Weiss recognizing the N. Norton Sculpture Gardens for inspiring the conservation of local biodiversity. Thank you. Last Friday, I attended the Ethical Governance Day at Palm Beach Gardens High School, and so I just want to thank School Board Member Erica Whitfield and Judge Schlossberg Fuhrer for putting this event. And it was great to see so many leaders to be at Palm Beach Gardens and meeting some of the students. They were great, and we look forward to the next Ethical Governance Day. Ooh. Next item, last Saturday, I participated in the Black Chamber of Commerce 5K, 10K. So I survived, and so I'm happy. I actually signed up for the 10, but I was late, probably on purpose. But I got there late, so I was able to do the 5K. And I came in out of like close to 200 people, like 17th, and for my age group, I came in second. So that was pretty cool.
Congratulations.
Thank you. In regards to County Road 880, Commissioner Baxter, as some of us are going to Washington, D.C. for NACO Legislative Day, what I do hope, Todd, is if we're able to set up meetings with HUD and other entities to see what we can do to get some funding from the federal government in regards to 880. Last Friday, I sent out a commissioner's comments that I said that I would like to bring the 6 items to the Board of County Commissioners today. Mayor Sachs and Commissioner Marino, as the two of you are, mayor and vice mayor of the county, with your leadership, I believe that it is important for us to continue to make Palm Beach County better and to address the technological advances that are taking place in the county, using artificial intelligence, and also being a steward of the budget and also to address some of these vacancies in the county. So I've broke down my comments into 2 different buckets. 1, 2, and 3 kind of like go together in regards to first, I'm asking for us to hire an outside consultant to review the organizational structure of Palm Beach County, all of the departments, and inclusive of the county administration, county attorney's office, and the internal auditor's office. And that is to optimize the best resources and how do we address the needs of our residents. So that's the first item. And in conjunction with that item, the second item, which is, I'm not sure exactly what the rules are in regards to appointments of deputy administrators or assistant county administrators. What I'd like for us is for it to be crystal clear that the Board of County Commissioners should consent and approve the hiring or the appointments of deputy administrators, assistant county administrators, the deputy county attorney, and the internal audit manager. And so I'd like to also know, just to make sure, if with department directors, Ms. Baker, do you bring that to us, and are we required to support it? How does that work? So,
Yes, I do bring them to you. We go through a process at my level. I select a person. I then bring it to the board for ratification of department heads.
okay. So since that is the case for department heads, what I would like for us is the board to also be able to consent and approve the assistant administrators and deputy administrators. And then the third item, which goes into this bucket, which is the most controversial, but I believe that, you know, we're responsible for passing the budget and, you know, having to learn that, you know, we have such a huge shortfall of projects that needs to be completed. I believe that we need to find a way for the Board of County Commissioners to be more involved with the financial management and the budget that we're required to pass on behalf of our residents. So what I'm asking is for us to consider through this whole process, if it's the right way for us to eventually have the budget director to report to the Board of County Commissioners as opposed to reporting to the county administrator. So those are the 3 items that are in the same bucket that I would like for us to have a conversation regarding, and then we can discuss the item 4, 5, and 6.
Very good. Commissioner Bernard, would you like to take it, would you like to limit the conversation per point? In other words, we'll take the first point first?
Madam Mayor,
I
it's
think
up to you.
I think it may be prudent to do that, and that way we can have an ongoing conversation about that at this time. And I just want to say that this is the way county government should work, is that we have these conversations open, transparent, and available for everybody to review. So with that, I'm going to start with you, Vice Mayor Marino. Go right ahead.
Thank you. It sounds like 2 and 3 would be charter changes. So do we need to put together a charter review committee? And what would be,
we don't necessarily have to have a charter review committee. The putting OFMB directly under the board is a charter change. I'm not sure at this point whether having the approval and consent of the board as far as deputies would be a charter change. I'm leaning towards no, but I would like a little additional time to consider that. I also wanted to just clarify with you whether your idea was that the consultant would also have input into the reorganization.
Well, what I would like is, if we do decide to go with number 1,
right,
then the consultant can advise us on 2 and 3. And so in that way,
right,
we can make that decision
right
at a later time. So I'm not saying for us to do it now, but I'd like for us to know, let's hire the consultant. But what's important about hiring the consultant is that I would like for this board to kind of like have a couple commissioners, or maybe one commissioner who leads this effort, because what I don't want is the consultant's report to be filtered by administration. I just believe that a commissioner or the mayor would, specifically, Mayor Marino, as as you're potentially the incoming mayor, and through Mayor Sachs, I think that it's not going to be something that's going to happen overnight, but I would like for someone to be working directly with the consultant to make sure that it is not filtered by county administration.
I'm happy to do that.
So in other words, what we would have, and I'm asking you directly, Commissioner Bernard, if what we're looking at, number one, is that the consultant would also be tasked with reviewing 2 and 3
Yes.
as part of his or her mission. And I agree. I think that's probably the best way to use those resources. Does anybody disagree as to that proposal at this time? No? Okay. Now, Commissioner, then what we'll do, and I'll get to you in just 1 minute, Commissioner Baxter. What we're going to do, Commissioner Bernard, is we are going to consider point number 1, and point number 1 will include points 2 and 3 as part of that mission. Okay, and nobody opposes that? Very good.
Madam Mayor.
Yes.
I just kind of wanted to add another potential for exploring that consultant to explore.
Sure.
If, because I was concerned too with this potentially being a charter amendment situation, the idea that I had is also identifying if the auditor has to remain, I know that might sound funny, the auditor, but could we have like a financial integrity officer type situation and then have 2 different departments under that person where we have it still separate, but under a person, the audit and the Office of Financial Management and Budget? And would that require a charter change? Because then, I mean, our budget, as we know, is a monster.
May I suggest that that we
For the
first
consultant to
decide
look.
whether we want to hire a consultant. Then, once we decide that, then we all will have an opportunity to give direction to that consultant.
Agreed.
And that way, there could be other recommendations here on the board, and that would be directed directly to the consultant. Does everybody agree with that? Does anybody disagree with that? I
And
think that that's the best way. And Commissioner Bernard, is that
Madam Mayor,
okay? Because this is
yes.
your proposal.
As Commissioner Marino, as the vice mayor, if you don't mind taking the lead on this
Happy
issue,
to.
then I would love for you to take the lead on it, so in that way, we're able to analyze this and you can bring it back to us.
Before we get there, is that okay that everybody will submit their recommendations? Okay, very good. Then what we're going to do is we're going to take the volunteer of Vice Mayor Marino and accepting this commission appointment to, now let me take a look at this again, to review the appointment and the retention. Really, we're going to hire someone. So if you could, Vice Mayor Marino, look into how we can hire an independent consultant to review issues that will come before you by members of the board. And I see that our attorney, did you want to say something?
Yeah, this will be an RFP process, and certainly staff would need to assist the commissioner, and then she would have input into exactly what the RFP says and what our overall intent for the consultant is. But we can provide her with staff support for that.
Very good. So the vice mayor will work directly with you or your office, and
That's
then you
fine.
can advise it for to get the right proposals. And does anybody have any our county administrator, Ms. Baker.
I would also like to ask that just not the county attorney's office, but my office as well, because I'm responsible for procurement, et cetera, and we need to make sure we're following the appropriate process.
Okay. Commissioner Bernard, do you accept that?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, very good. Then what we'll do is Vice Mayor Marino, as the commissioner who has volunteered and been appointed by the board to take on this task, you will work directly with the county administrator's office as well as with the county attorney's office to make sure that all legal points and administrative principles are followed in the nomination of this consultant. I would request, Commissioner Bernard, would we have an opportunity to vote as a county commission on the appointment and actually our hiring of a consultant? Does that go along with?
Yeah, that's.
Very good, okay.
Yes,
And that's
that's
exactly
part of
what
our
we're gonna do.
procurement process. We'll
Yes.
bring that contract back to this board.
Yes, and that's exactly what we're going to do. Vice Mayor, I'm so glad you volunteered, so that when you get those names, and those names have been procured in the proper way, you will bring those names before the board, and we'll have an opportunity to vote on it. Commissioner Woodward, you have your light on, but Commissioner Baxter, you've had it on for a while.
I was just going to ask Commissioner Bernard, would you like to, because RFP processes and everything, would you like to give a timeline?
Commissioner Marino, since you've been voluntold or volunteered,
Told.
I think that working with Commission Administrator Baker and the County Attorney's Office, like the three of y'all can kind of like work on a timeline for us.
Well, let me ask a question of our attorney and our administrator. The normal process of putting together an RFP, is there an average time frame that it takes? This one is not, we're not looking for engineering drawings or anything like that, so I don't think it's, the difficulty is there normally. So in this instance, what do you see as a time frame?
We'll work with you, putting together the particulars that you'll be looking for the RFP. And then once we do that, we'll put it on the street. It normally takes about 30 to 45 days. Correct me if I'm off base. And then once that happens, we go through the process of reviewing them, evaluating, and then prioritizing them, go through the interview process, which you will be a part of, and then we'll make a selection. Once we do that, we come back. So I would think anywhere from about 4 months it would take to get through the entire process and get back to you. If it is a priority of this board, we'll try to move it a little faster, but there are elements in our RFP process that we must make sure occurs, and that includes time for anybody to appeal.
And what I'd also like is, before we put this out on the street, I think the input from the board would be very necessary, because we want a true idea of what the scope of work is. So I would ask the board to give us their input, their letters of what information, additional information other than 2 and 3 they might be looking for.
I just want to bring it to the board's attention with the mayor's permission,
Go right ahead.
that we are also on a timeline if we do need a charter amendment, because, we have to have it in by a certain time frame.
We may not need a charter amendment. Let's do this. Why don't we have the vice mayor send us all a report as to how it's progressing, and we are now in January. Let's say by the first week in March. Would that be okay, Vice Mayor, to see how it's progressing?
Sure.
Just as a report, sort of, as we go, and that way it'll keep it current, so it doesn't get lost, and we can begin this conversation, because that will certainly motivate all of us to think about other issues that should be followed by the consultant. So if we could have that, Sir Clerk, sorry I called you Madam, but it could be a compliment.
Mayor, forgive me.
If we could have it documented, or at least for that first week in March. Yes, Commissioner Baxter.
And if they could provide us during that first week of March, the date of if we had to, which I'm hoping not, for the charter amendment, but if we had to, what's the last day we could make
Well,
that decision?
I think that
Contact the
that's going to be up to the county attorney in
Well,
terms of whether we need that. But I think by the first week in March, we would certainly have a report to this board as to how it's progressing.
I think the ultimate determination is going to be whether the board does want to move forward with the recommendation of putting OFMB directly under the Board of County Commissioners and making OFMB a contract attorney versus an employee of the county.
Okay. So those discussions,
I'm sorry, I just gave her a contract employee of the board.
very good. Okay, so if that's okay, Madam Baker, Madam, if we could have a report in the first week of March. I'm not quite sure if we have a date that for a BCC meeting, but the first BCC meeting in the first part of March. And that way we can have sort of see how we're going and if we need anything else. And if you could give us that date, March 5th. March 5th, very good. And that's noted on the record. Now, Commissioner Woodward.
Yes, thank you. And thank you for this discussion. And Vice Mayor, thank you for accepting volunteering to do this. You mentioned that you would like to bring it back to us before it goes to RFP. I was just wanting to get, not a timeline, but sort of a series of events. So you'll be working with staff to prepare the RFP, and then the board will have the ability to have discussion on the RFP before it goes out. And then the next time we will have discussion will be when it's time to choose the consultant. Is that after it goes out to bid, and then you'll bring it back to us for choosing the consultant? Is this?
What we'll do is what we're talking about, Commissioner Woodward, it's a good question, is that we'll take a look-see the first week in March, March 5th, and then Vice Mayor Marino will proceed to get nominations for consultants, but we will have the ultimate vote on who that consultant will be.
Will we have
And
discussion
also what
before the RFP?
mission.
Or is this
May
it?
I?
Yes, go right ahead.
I believe there's probably an official process, and we need to follow that. In March, what I'd like ideally is that everyone has brought together their input, and at that point in time, then we have our discussion of where we want the direction to go of the RFP. Then the RFP gets written, it gets put out on the street, it comes back to us, we decide. And I think we also need a timeline from the supervisor of elections, because I don't want to go into this not knowing when. If we decide that there are going to be charter amendments, we should probably have a timeline as to when the questions can go on a ballot, whether it's, November, August, March, whatever. I think it would behoove us to know if a change is to take place, when is it possible to put it on the ballot? So I think a discussion with the supervisor election, giving us those timeframes would be good. So we, if we can't get it done by August, thinking that we might want it on a ballot, for November, these would be questions that she could answer, not any of us. So there will be more discussion than just sending me the questions. And I believe in March, once we have all that information, we will have that discussion. That will help us write the RFP as to what information we're looking for. Does that answer your question?
Yeah,
That
does.
is very
Thank you.
good. So we're really going to use the efforts of the county attorney's office on this, especially with those timelines for the vote and things of that sort. So I want to thank you for participating in this, the county attorney's office. And I want to thank you, Vice Mayor, for accepting this important role. Now, that has been settled. Let's go on, Commissioner Bernard. You still have 4, 5, and 6.
Yes.
Go right ahead on 4.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. And item 4, 5, and 6 kind of like go together in regards to, I know that right now we're currently in the process of renovating and rehabbing this building. And so what I'm not sure about is kind of like if it is too late to actually analyze whether or not we should continue to fund renovating this building versus moving to another location. And so Item 4, which is to explore if it is advantageous to move the county's headquarters that is here to the Westgate/Belvedere area. And 5, which is also to take a look at establishing a rental car center that is connected to the airport versus having all of these rental car spaces on Belvedere and around the airport to have one center. And then the final, which is just to explore the possibility of constructing an airport at the hotel, a hotel at the airport. So those 3 items go together, and so I'm opening it up.
All right, let me ask you a question. With regard, when you say advantageous to move the county's headquarters to the Westgate, are you talking about a permanent
Yes.
move
A permanent move of us
of the county
from
headquarters?
here to the Westgate to see if it's advantageous for us to do that.
So this is, let me ask the attorney something. Is this the venue for the county's headquarters? Is this in an ordinance or state statute that it would be in the county seat of West Palm Beach? I don't know the
There is
answer.
a statute.
Good, go ahead.
I can read it to you, so give me 1 second.
That's great, all right.
So Florida statute, I believe 138.12 says that commissioners may expand the county seat. The Board of County Commissioners of any county may expand the geographical area of the county seat of its county beyond the corporate limits of the municipality named as the county seat by adopting a resolution to that effect at any regular or special meeting of the board. Such a resolution may be adopted only after the board has held not less than 2 public hearings on the proposal at intervals of not less than 10 or more than 20 days, and after notice of the proposal and such meeting has been published in newspaper of general circulation in the county. However, nothing herein shall be deemed to extend the boundaries of the municipality in which the county seat was previously located or annexed to such municipality the territory added to the county seat.
May I suggest, and I'm moving this as a motion, that we all research this. I want to take a look at that statute because I'm not sure if it says to expand the county seat or to actually move the Board of County Commissioners from the county seat to another location other than that. And the only way, I need to really review that statute. And I wonder, with your permission, Commissioner, could we take a look at this after we have the materials and then we can be informed? Where is Westgate? I don't even know where Westgate is. So, sounds like a lovely place, but.
It's right by the Kennel Club.
Oh, where the Kennel Club is?
Yes.
And we talked to the Kennel Club about it.
It's right
But anyway,
close to the Kennel
right, to the
Club.
Kennel Club. So may I suggest,
Yeah.
with your permission, that we research this and you could provide us with any information or ideas that you have that we could all, and then we could put this on for a date certain that we could discuss it informed.
Yeah, I'd love to get the, kind of like the county attorney's office and Administrator Baker, because of course, we've spent dollars in regards to with this building, and we just need to know kind of like, hey, has a train left this building already where it doesn't matter? But we can just have that
Sure.
discussion at a later. This is not something I'm asking for us to decide today.
Right now, okay, good. Does anybody oppose to reviewing this after we have some more information available to us? Commissioner Woodward.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I've had a meeting with what you're bringing this up for, excuse me, and I did want to know, can we get an answer soon on where we stand on the process of the designs for this building and with the option for this? Because what was brought to me was a very interesting option, and I'd like to know, SME, could we get an update on where we are in this?
You're recognized.
Appreciate that. Good morning. Esme Ayala, Assistant County Administrator and FDO Director. Where are we with the Governmental Center Renewal and Replacement Project? We have an architecture and engineering firm under contract for renovation of the building. So to answer the first question, if this board were to move in a different direction, we will need to terminate that contract for convenience and move into new design, right? Because the contract we competed and procured for is renovation of an existing building, and obviously this building, right? So if we were to explore another path, we will need to terminate that contract, which we can do for convenience, and then re-procure services. As it relates to construction, we do have a contract in place for construction manager at risk services. Very similar, it was competed for renovation, so that's another one that we will need to bring to an end and then plan our path. As to the amount of work performed, we have completed the building assessment, and that was brought to the board, I want to say about 6 months ago or so, with a confirmation that the building can be renovated. And at that time, we asked the board for direction if to proceed, continue to move forward or not. We were told to continue to move forward, and a few items were added to the scope as to things that we needed to consider. With that direction, our consultant proceeded into programming, and that's where we are. We have met with all stakeholders in this building. Our consultant has the information they require. They are putting together and summarizing the feedback received from the customers, different stakeholders, the clerk, property appraiser, county departments, and the like. And with the information they have gathered, now they have the ability to put together a conceptual plan as to where we can recapture square footage, what we can do to improve the building. And I'm talking aside from building systems, that's a given. We have talked that we need to improve HVAC systems and electrical and security, right? I'm going to the point of how to make the most of the space we have, including the request that the board gave us as to the possibility of building some additional floors atop of the 6th floor. So that's our current status. If this board were to decide to move in a different direction, which certainly is your prerogative, we will need to stop where we are, as I shared before, by bringing to an end those efforts, which we have obviously invested some resources and time. We will garner the most we can from the programming effort, because the stakeholders will continue to be the same unless additional are added at a later time by direction. And then we will need to procure the services, obviously after identifying where to site the building.
Very, very good. Thank you so much. And you may want to stay right there. Commissioner Bernard?
Thank you very much, Isami, for this update. Do we kind of like have a ballpark, like how much is it going to cost to renovate this building right now?
Approved budget is around $69 million under IST. As part of the November 2023 Capital Projects Workshop, we had included an updated estimate. Keep in mind, please, that design has not been completed, right? But we did ask our design team, Net Architects, to provide us an updated estimate based on the information they had, and it was close to $100 million.
Commissioner Bernard, your light is still on.
I'll let Commissioner Baxter.
Hi, Commissioner Baxter, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mayor. Question, you said 69 million from infrastructure sales tax or sales tax,
IST.
excuse me.
Yes,
What was previously budgeted prior to the IST being approved? What has been budgeted from other funds for the project?
The project is under IST. I don't believe it has been budgeted through a prior effort. I can go back and validate if there is any history that I might be missing.
You know, when I was running, one of the things I like to do in my spare time was watch commission meetings. And I distinctly remember somebody had brought up that this project had been budgeted for 40 years or so, that they were constantly putting into a pot of dollars. Is this a different or the same?
Well, I cannot speak as to that comment because I don't have the information. I do know that the project has been planned for many, many years, approximately 30 years. But planning is one side of the equation, budgeting for is the other side, right? And you may have master plans in place that extend over several decades, right? With the vision that eventually a project will happen, and then funding and budgeting takes place once we are approaching the level of service that requires for that improvement to be built.
Can we just, I guess, somebody confirm that from budgeting? We've never budgeted for this in any other source than IST dollars for 30 or 40 years?
Ms. Baker.
I am not aware that we allocated any funding for the renovation of this building, short of when the board decided to do it with the IST funding. We have dollars for all of our county buildings on repair, replacement, maintenance kinds of things. So yes, if that is what you're referring to, we do that along with everything, all of our other buildings. But I am not aware, but I will double check. I think the first time we actually allocated dollars to renovate this building was with the IST dollars. I will verify that.
Thank you.
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
I know that we have a workshop next week, and, since we are at a board meeting, if we need to continue this discussion in regards at a workshop, I'm okay with it. But what's important to me is, this was bidded at close to $70 million, and, at the time that we voted that it was going to be $70 million, I spoke to industry professionals, and they told me that it was never going to be $70 million. What I'm concerned about is, right now we're told that it's $100 million, and then for, a year or 2 years down the road, it's up to $150 million to renovate a building. And so that's the reason why I would like for us to really have a discussion, so in that way, if they said it's going to be $100 million and I know it's going to cost that, I'm okay with it. But what I have a problem with, 3 years down the road or 2 years down the road, we're spending $150 million, and was that the best way for us to really have a place that addresses some of our current needs right now? So
I understand what you're saying, and I would, and I think what it comes down to, Commissioner Bernard and my colleagues, is that we all want to be part of the budget process when it comes to issues and items that concern our board, and many feel that we have not been part of that. So I know, Isami, you're well versed in this area, but I think that we need to have more transparency from your agency to us. And I am looking for a suggestion, one suggestion, rather than do a workshop where I like to see the things ahead of time so I can review it, look at it, then workshop it. And with everybody's input on this, let's talk. I'd like to see, and this goes back even to those plans for the animal care and control. When I saw those plans to increase the vegetation in the front and make the lobby bigger, I didn't know what went into that. And that's fine, I trust you. But what I do want to do is to listen to the commissioners. We want to be part of that process. So I would suggest that you could give to us, and I see that Ms. Baker wants to say something, but let me just say, we'd like to see those processes. We'd like to see those papers. We're pretty smart. We could probably review them and then workshop openly how we feel about how that process is going. Is that okay with you, Ms.?
More than happy to bring a presentation, providing you an
No,
overview.
no, I don't want a presentation, not yet.
Not
I
yet.
want the papers in my office.
Okay.
I want every commissioner here to have the papers in their office so they can review them, look at them, study them. Then we can come in and have a workshop Is that okay with everybody? Because this isn't something that I can listen to you and then say, oh, yes, we need to do another floor over the 12th floor. No, I want to see how much it's going to cost, who are we talking with for engineers, architects, developers, and how long is it going to take? Where's the money coming from? What is going to happen? So if you could copy us with your papers and your processes, then we will review them in our offices. Then we can come and possibly workshop. Does anybody want to say anything? Is that okay with everybody here on the board? Okay, then if you could provide those to the 7 commissioners, and that way, as Commissioner Bernard is talking about, we can be part of the process, and Commissioner Baxter, of the budget allocation, where it's going, who's doing it, and what it means to the people of the county. Ms. Baker?
Just more of a clarification. When you say papers, are we talking about the entire process? When we did the RFP, what the results was, what the architects are looking at, any type of drawings, which I don't think we currently have, because they actually have just begun the process of this.
You're correct. That's what you said. That's what you said.
Okay.
Because you see, when I'm working with Issamine, she comes in my office, she comes in with papers. And, I like to see paper. I don't like necessarily see it on the screen. Some people may just want it digitally. That's up to them. But I like to see paper. And we'll work, and I'll look at that, leave it with my office. Let me review it. Let me feel it, touch it, look at it, study it. And then everybody will have their own way of wanting those, but we need to see that process. And yes, exactly what Ms. Baker said is what we need to participate with your office on what we're going to do with this building.
Will it be acceptable if I include a staff memo so that the process follows with all the supporting documentation added, and that way it has order? Will that be acceptable?
As long as we're your partner
Without
in
that.
this, so give us the background of your RFPs and who's doing it and what they're thinking of, and then we will be able to workshop it after we review all these issues. Commissioner Woodward?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. And I'd just like to add on that we are asking you to bring some of the stuff with you, but I can't speak for everyone, but I think some of us have had meetings with some different stakeholders in the community that have brought us some interesting ideas that we would also like to share with you. And I'm sure each of us have had maybe different meetings, but it would be good for us to share it with you before we have the workshop. So that way, once we're ready to have the workshop, everyone's had a chance to kind of get everything on the table, because I think it's quite exciting. And thank you, Commissioner Bernard, for bringing this out, because this is a good opportunity for us as a county.
This is the county commission in the near future that we're working on. Ms. Baker, did you want to say something?
Just make sure I'm on the right track here. We've got a workshop scheduled for next Tuesday, the 30th. And it is the overall budget capital workshop, our strategic planning. Do you want me to continue with that particular process, and then this is a separate process when it comes to this building?
Well, let's,
Okay.
I know that.
I think let's keep
Denise, you have it. Did you want to say something before? Okay. Well, let's open this up.
I'd
Commissioner
like
Bernard?
to keep everything as planned, and then if it's the next meeting, because then it gives Isabel and staff the opportunity to take a look at everything and then meet with us.
Okay.
And then we can do a workshop in March, and so that way that gives us plenty of time.
Thank you.
Okay. Very good, and I like the idea, too, that's been brought forward. And Ms. Kaufman, you've got a scowl. Yes, too. Did you want to say something? Your light was on.
Okay, I can't help myself. I'm trying to help myself, but just be cognizant that papers or emails and whatever are flying that we're not going to discuss among ourselves,
No.
and that we're not giving ISME specific direction until the board comes together.
Absolutely. We're very adult like that now. We've learned our lesson. So I don't believe we need, I think we have board approval on this, that we're going to go ahead and receive those from ISME, and you're going to be in touch with all of us. We're going to get to know you very well. And we'll work with you, and thank you for all the board comments. So that's taken care of. Let's go on, Commissioner Bernard.
I think they all
I think we have Ms. Beebe here on the airport. Shall we wait?
go together, so I think that, item 4, 5, and 6, they go together. If, well, Ms. Beebe, you can kind of like help us.
Now, if I understand this, and as Ms. Beebe comes to the podium, you would like to have an RFP for a rental car center
Not an
within?
RFP, so it's to look at establishing a rental car center at the airport, and, you know, like, as you have it in Miami-Dade or Fort Lauderdale, and
So what you're talking about is a consolidated rental car facility, which is done at airports throughout the United States. They are very expensive structures. We would need to go through some planning. But a similar structure at the Bradley Airport was about $221 million. To do one at PBI, just back of the envelope, we're thinking it's probably about $250 million. So the real issue for us is not the desire to have it, it's just how do you fund it?
Well, will I'm sorry, this is a conversation.
Yeah.
Don't the rental car centers pay for, or certainly contribute to the construction?
So
of
they
the
would
center?
pay a fee for all of the rental cars. There is it's basically a Conrack fee. We would have to get the money up front in order to actually build the facility. We don't have an area identified on our airport layout plan and or master plan, a location on the airport for that sort of facility. It's a very large facility, so we would need to go back and do some planning, determine, you know, what would be the appropriate location, what would be the cost. For instance, if you did it in the terminal area, it would be much more expensive to build than to do in a green space. So there's a lot that goes into that. So I wouldn't say it would be as easy as saying, let's go out and do an RFP for a Conrack facility, because we would have to also come up with a funding plan for it.
Okay, Ms. Baker.
I was just going to ask to give us time to
Review
digest
it.
this and
I
then
think-
move forward with looking at it, and then we can come back and give you a report on
Excellent.
what's entailed in it.
I think that what Commissioner Bernard is looking at is bringing us into the 21st century. And PBI is, and you know, I work with you on the TDC, and Tourist Development Council. I've always wanted to have a valet service. I can't imagine Palm Beach not having valet at our airport. And this rental car center, as well as a hotel, would really bring us into playing with the big boys airports. So maybe what you could do is review these. Ms. Baker has also requested that. You could review these ideas of an airport, hotel, as well as a rental car center, and any other ideas that you would have in your staff to modernize our PBI and bring it into play with that other one down south called Fort Lauderdale and MIA. Because I think it would be, we have land available out there. I mean, we can work with this. I think if we wait too many years, it's going to be gone. So I think it's a great idea, Commissioner Bernard. And with the board approval, we would request that you would review that and bring it back to us. Did you want a time certain, or?
This would take a little bit of time, so I think that, we've got one item, I think the headquarter also falls in line with some of those things if we're gonna go there, and so, I think 3 months would be perfect for us to.
Right, so we just really need to go back and talk to our consultants and just determine, where it could be identified for a future site. I have to, be very candid, funding is going to be the primary issue. We are struggling right now with funding for some of our critical projects now, including the completion of the Concourse B project. You all know that we're going to be coming back to you with an airfield project as well, which is going to be a multi-million-dollar project. So we're really going to need to talk to our consultants to see, if this is something the board desires, how would we be able to fund it, and where would the best location for it be? So we would need a little bit of time to, gather that information, because it is a very complex project.
And Madam Mayor, that's the reason why, the first item that we talked about, the reviewing the organizational structure, to kind of like look at the whole county, department by department, to see where are the efficiencies, how can we save, and how do we modernize. And so that's also part of that future discussion that we're trying to do.
Well, I applaud those efforts and those thoughts, because It is, a mark of a great metropolitan area is their airport.
Don't disagree.
And I think that sometimes it's a return on investment as well. So everybody knows if you're going to fly PBI, you got to pay a little more. Maybe not with some of the new airlines coming in, Ms. Beebe, but let's see what we can do to make our airport worthy of our county. And I'm very pleased that we have you at the helm, or the captain's seat, as we should say in an airplane. So thank you so much for that. And we look forward to your report down the road.
Could I ask for just a little clarification, airport hotel, what exactly is the vision for that? We do have 2 hotels on site. Is it the proximity or?
I think it's more of like we've got several sites like around the airport, so I wasn't sure if that's something that we would need. But that's one of those things just to really figure out. Really, it's the rental car center that's first, and then seeing that, can we eventually also have, an
Additional airport hotels. Okay.
I think we make money. I think if we own the hotel, we make money from the hotel.
So we do have 2 on airport sites. One is the Airport Hilton. The second one is the Home Team Suite site that's next to Drive Shack.
No, I know that, but do we make money from those hotels?
Absolutely.
Do we rent or do we own them?
We lease the property.
them?
Yes.
Wow.
From an airport perspective, it is always our desire to lease property as opposed to selling property. Because it gives us a continued operating stream for operations and maintenance. Once you sell the property, it's locked into your capital budget, and you can only use it for certain capital projects.
So it'd be good when you talk with your consultants to find out, do we need to expand those hotels? Do we need to replace them? How we can have more of a return of investment to the county
There is already
hotels.
discussion with Airport
Good.
Hilton about an expansion of additional rooms at that
Excellent.
site, so.
Excellent, excellent.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. It's going to be a good
Okay,
discussion.
thank you.
I think that completes your comments, Commissioner Bernard. And is there any other business before the board at this time? And we do
Mayor,
have, Ms. Baker, go
I'm
right ahead.
sorry. Is she still here? We just wanted to quickly brief you on Medicaid and reminding our residents that they need to go in and renew their applications, because when they expire, they no longer have coverage. And so we want to give you a quick briefing as to what we're doing in order to make sure that our residents are well aware of it.
Very good.
Yeah, thank you, Ms. Speaker.
Luna Hultree, our Assistant Department Director for Community Services.
Very good. Go right ahead. You're recognized.
Thank you. Just want to, update the board that the continuous coverage for the Medicaid redetermination ended on March 31st, and it's impacting more than 130,000 Palm Beach County residents. So we are working with all of our community partners, healthcare district, making sure that the residents know the process, how to go through the redetermination, work with the case managers, not wait, because most of the folks are finding out that their coverage is ending or already ended when they are when they're going to the doctor's office. And then by that time, it's too late, and there's a gap. So we are encouraging our residents to work with their case managers, with their Medicaid representative to go through that redetermination process. So we will be working on a lot of outreach events in the community, especially targeting some of our zip codes, making sure the information is out in different languages so that our residents are aware.
Will we put this on Channel 20, please?
Yes, it will be on a Channel
Good.
20. We will be working with some local radios. We will be engaging our mobile outreach bus. We have a mobile outreach bus who will be helping the residents with the computers, making sure they have all the appropriate forms to upload.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Any questions? Very good. So if there's no further business before the board, we will see everybody back at 2 p.m. Thank you. We're adjourned at this time.
Commissioners would also remind you we have our More Than Pink bus downstairs on 3rd Street if you'd like to do a quick photo op for the Susan Komen bus is downstairs. So if you'd like to join us now, we can do that.
Thank you.
Well, we've all made it here to 2024, and this year's theme for the South Florida Fair is Dive Into